Alright, where we last left off, we finished Morton's Castle. And most of World 2. Next is Vanilla Dome, which is World 3. Not gonna mince words here. All of these levels are bad. Every single run in this level is a run, every single level in this world is a run killer. They're just all super hard. Let me run through the first. I'm just gonna run through each screen once, and then kind of explain what I'm doing after. Okay, so you want to start. You start by going left. If you try and just run right here, you can get speed like that, but it's really tight. If you jump too early, you don't get it. If you jump too late, you fall off. So if you start walking left, you're almost guaranteed to get it every time. Make sure to let go in time to fall and like miss that guy. I usually jump when the last bat starts flying. Grab that, kill that. Spin jump to get that coin. I do 1, 2 taps, 3 tap to make sure that I kill that guy without losing too much time. Whoop. What am I doing? Alright. So, 1, 2, 3. Frick. Something along those lines. The reason I do it that way, though, is because if I just hold it, it sometimes works, but it gets kind of iffy if you just eyeball it. So I just like to do 2 taps because it's pretty consistent. So here you want to jump up the slope. Get up there, jump before the first beetle. If you can cape back at the right time, you'll stick to the ceiling. If you do it too late, you do that. It's kind of weird timing. There, I think I did it too early. That was too late. This isn't really required. You could still just go through the rest of this and get the coin at the end, and you're good. But if you want to look cool, I mean... you might as well at least try for it. Now I'm never going to get it again. There we go. And then after the Koopa, just let go. Get the coin. Okay. So, I'm just going to show you what this is, and then I'm going to explain how I do it. Pay particular attention to the inputs at the top right, because it's going to be very confusing. The amount of buttons that I'm pressing at once. Looking cool, Mario. Aw. Missed it. I mean, that strat's not really necessary. Alright. This is just for the show. Okay. The first part of this. I switched to overhand. So I'm holding the controller like this. I have all 4... I have everything except my pinky on a button. Just like this. The reason I have it like that is so we spin. Spin. We need to do a normal duck jump to get into this gap. Press X to grab that block. Tap A and B to get out quicker. And then just tap B to get through the end. That's the only comfortable way I can figure out how to do this. Whoop. Like, there's... I just couldn't figure out. I tried everything else. This is the only thing that makes sense to me. You're just holding Y the entire time. You press X to grab the block. Yeah, speedrunning Mario World is definitely pain. And then you can switch back to normal after that. Let's see. There's a strat at the end here where you can do that. I think it's frame perfect. It might just be really tight. But I don't get it every time. It does save time, though, if you can get it. But you don't have to. If you don't, then just, like... Oh, now I'm getting it every time. Just grab it and do everything else like normal. And then grab the shell, hold it to the end, so you can get a backup cape. In theory, you won't ever have to use it, but this is Lunar Dragon. Something's bound to go wrong eventually. But that's Dome 1. Dome 2... Grab the shell. Make sure when you grab the shell, grab it on the left side and run the full length. You'll notice that when we're underwater, so up in the top right, we have your speed. I forget what the white one is. And then under that's your P meter. You'll notice my P meter doesn't drain while I'm underwater. It just stays. Now, if I get out of the water, it goes back down to 0. Oh, I think the white number is Yoshi. So, now I'm at P4. I'd prefer to be at P5. But, we want that to be as high as possible for when we jump out and over here. I think it's the same as vines. I think vines are the same way. Yeah, while you're on a vine, your P meter doesn't go down either. The P stands for power. Anyway. Grab the vine. You don't really have to worry about jumping off the vine quickly. The only thing you have to worry, since it doesn't drain, you just have to get to the vine out of the water as quick as possible and get to that platform. That edge right there as quick as possible. That way, you can come out running as soon as you can. Jump, run. I do a left-right there to make sure I don't accidentally hit the Buzzy Beetle. This stuff's kind of weird. These parts where you drop the shell, I literally drop it and then spin to grab it again. There's a couple different strategies for what to do there. That one's the one that's just been most consistent for me. I don't think it's the fastest, but it's the most consistent for me. So drop, spin. Drop, spin, jump. We're going to the left here. Do your swaggy P drop. Land on it deal. You can kick this. You can kick the key here, or a lot of times what I do is I'll drop the key, and then it'll kind of land right where you need to be to get to the keyhole. It's a little inconsistent. You have to. Yeah, I'm going over World 3 for Lunar Dragon. It's a little bit of an inconsistent strat. It's not great. Once you're more comfortable, you could go for it, but it really isn't going to save you a whole lot of time out the gate. This level. Okay, if you are new to any SMW category, just do this. Don't worry about the time save. Just hold jump, hold Y, and walk forward. Don't do anything fancy. However, if you want to be fancy, you can do this. You'll notice it saves about a second in game. So it was a 6:37, right? Yeah, 6:37 at the transition. $5.75. So about a half a second. And then you'll save probably another half second in the next room if you do that. What I do to try and do this, I spin to hit the P switch immediately. Jump, and I stall over top of the green Koopa. Once I get to the green Koopa, I stall by pressing jump again. Spin to grab the red shell, kick it. I jump so that Mario's head hits right here. In between those two blocks. And then you're in there. After that, it's just... This is the first time we've caped through here, isn't it? Whoops! Ouch, do it again. I'll explain hallway fly real quick. The actual hardest level, probably Forest of Illusion 2. So you come through and you want to jump. I think if you jump too early, you might not get very much speed. So you may want to like run a little bit before you jump. That was still a 51. I don't know. It's still kind of luck-based. Kind of like we talked about in Donut Plains 1 when we first got Cape. You're hoping to get the highest speed here, but in a hallway like this, you're not really going to readjust. All your major concern is to not hit the floor, which is easier said than done. You even heard it, but I still landed. So if you're doing the cape strat, there's one of three things that can happen. One of two things, I guess, really. You'll cape and you'll just land right there, and it's super nice. Sometimes you'll land, like, it'll just, based on how you're caping, it'll land you right in front of it. Just do a neutral jump. Just jump without holding any forward or direction or anything like that. That'll get you to the switch pretty easy. And then, if you're not doing all that stuff, just run. But since we have cape, don't. Since we have cape, if you don't want to be fancy... Actually, no, I think it's still faster. Let me see. 435. 428. I think it is faster, actually. Oh, 423. Maybe not. It's probably about the same. 418. Okay, yeah. If you're not gonna cape through the hallway, just run at it. But before you jump, press down. What that's gonna do is it's gonna prevent you from taking flight. Because if you just press jump, you're gonna do a spin fly. You don't want to do that. You just wanna down, boom. And you'll get there really quickly. If you want to be fancy, you can try for a switch jump. You just have to hit the switch the first frame that you land on it. You don't lose any time by missing it, but you don't gain anything from getting it either. So that's totally up to you. You can do it either by running or by caping to it. It's just harder if you cape to it. Because you still have to cape and be fast. Well, that's Red Switch Palace. It's the most complicated Switch Palace in the game. The other three are dead simple. Back to Dome 2. You gain style points and the admiration of your peers. Alright, Dome 2 has a lot going on. We're going to do the same thing we did before. In fact, the start of this is identical to the secret exit we did earlier. Make sure to grab this coin. It's almost impossible to miss. Now, when you do this P-switch drop, try and hit that top coin like I did. The reason you want to hit that top coin is when we're going back, you can jump like way sooner and you don't have to worry. So like if we had a coin right here, I wouldn't be able to jump until right about here. But since that coin's gone, I can jump way earlier, and then it's easier to land on that flat platform. Don't do that, what I just did. Your goal is to spin fly and hit the top one, not the bottom one. The top one, he'll go through. I goofed it up, but the basic idea is there. Even if you don't hit one, it doesn't matter. He'll still just go through them. Okay. Don't go too far left, as that just showed. If you go too far left, he'll jump up, and it sucks. And you'll lose a trillion amount of time. So, I guess I should show. The main reason you want to do that way, let's say we do, let's see, I think this is how it worked. I'm trying to replicate an issue that I haven't had in a while. Oh, the white's flight meter. I'm dumb. I said it was Yoshi. So sometimes that'll happen. But it won't be an issue as long as you just land there, wait a little bit, you're good. Anyway. Why am I not getting past that guy ever? Too far left. Alright. So after that, I usually spin, do a down spin jump like we talked about in the Red Switch Palace. Kill that guy. Jump up here, crouching, to get past him. Oh, did I? Oh, I know what's wrong. I skipped a step. Hold on. Okay. When you're coming up, make sure to scroll the screen to the right. That's why everything's getting weird. Important step. Screen scroll to the right. Now, yeah. See how it lines up much better now? Yeah, I'm bad. Kill him. Crouch jump up here. Grab him. This is, what I'm teaching is basically really, really, I don't want to say they're super safe strats, but they're fairly safe. If this happens, then everyone makes fun of you for clipping into the wall. You can skip collecting this guy and just spin jump to kill that Chuck, but it's less consistent, so I pick up the shell. So we do this. See, I hit the bottom one, which wasted time because I had to wait and get through. Sometimes that'll happen. You'll clip into it, and then you'll just take flight the opposite direction. Not a whole lot to do about that, unfortunately. It's just Mario World being bad. I'm trying to think. There's not a really good way to describe how to thread the needle here. Because that'd be too much. Can you do 2? No. Yeah, you have to just kind of hold it for like a mid spin jump. So you're not holding it the whole way. It's not really quick. It's kind of in the middle. And that way you thread the needle, you kill the Buzzy Beetle, and then you can just jump and fly the rest of the way.
You're awful, Aaron, but in the best way.
So, everything together looks something like this. I did a left right there to make sure I thread the needle correctly. Whew! And that's that. But that level is super long. A million things can go wrong with it. But it just takes practice. Like, look at it. Like, it took me a minute. That level's over a minute long. There's not a lot of levels like that aren't auto-scrollers. So, Dome 2 is a really tough one. Ghost House is pretty easy. The hardest thing about Ghost House is you're never entirely sure what the boo ring is going to look like. If you did... So, I have to kind of explain how boo rings work. Boo rings are stored on their own, like, separate timer, essentially. This boo ring starts where the last boo ring left off in its spin cycle. So, the last boo ring was back in Donut Secret House Secret. Donut Secret House. Donut Secret Ghost House, whatever it's called. How quickly you do and how clean your Donut Secret Ghost House is determines what this boo ring is going to start at. If you do it super clean, the boo ring will start here, and you just do a normal jump and a spin to get through. Sometimes it sucks, and you just have to, like, kind of figure it out. Typically, 2 normal jumps will get you through most boo ring setups for this level. And then you can just pick up P-Speed here. But it's one of those tough ones because no matter how much you practice, if the boo ring's out of position, you're just going to have to kind of run it on the fly. That'll happen too sometimes. If that happens, I recommend just staying in the bottom and grabbing this. Just take the time loss. It's better to take the time loss and keep the cape than lose both capes, which is very possible. And when you're deboosting, make sure to... you really have to hit the far left side of this. It's not super tight, but it's not easy either. So after that, fly up. I usually fall till my feet reach the top of the windows in the background. So you'll notice I fly up, reach my peak, fall, land there. Then I hit the coin, go back up. At this coin, I do 2 A taps. 1, 2. That'll make me hit that that piece of ground or whatever. I don't want to thread the needle here. If I thread the needle, then I end up all up over here and it sucks. I actually purposely want to be a little bit slow. So I hit that, do a normal jump, and you'll deboost and hit the coin. Super easy as long as you get the setup. Just a real quick tap, hold forward. That would never happen in a run. And then boom, get in the door. Miss the door because it's hard. Second room, spin jump through the first set of coins and just kind of run it the whole way. After you pass the first gas bubble, you're pretty safe to drop once you're past this. Not entirely safe. So maybe wait until the gas bubbles to the left of the screen, then drop. I like to do 2 normal jumps and then a neutral jump to get over to the coin. Oop. I like to land and then jump again, just so that everything kind of lines up well. I do another neutral jump, I drop the P-switch and land on it. Make sure if you're going to drop the P-switch and land on it, that you collect the coins first. The worst possible thing you could do is something like this. Now, you can actually get in there, but it's obviously killing time. And then if you're like, welp, now your run's over. Essentially. So just make sure you're gonna collect the coins before you hit the P-switch. And you're good. Ghost House. Not super hard. The easiest level in Vanilla Dome. Dome 3. Okay. Dome 3 is a nightmare. There's 2 strats for the raft at the start. If you can spin... Your goal is to get the spin jump to happen right around here on the raft. In between those 2 skulls. If you can do that... You can just jump up here. And then by the end of that raft, you'll have built P-speed. And you can just cook. If you miss it, you jump too late or too early, or you don't want to go for it. You can also hug the pipe here. And then you'll also get P-speed. Hugging the pipe is way more consistent. I still use it. I still use it as a backup strat. If I notice that I I jumped too early, then I'll just hug the pipe. But the important thing is to get P-speed so that you don't have to wait for the raft. Spin jump up here. We're going to get our second moon. Let me see if I can get the start strat again. So I think that was good. I'm going to jump. We're good. Spin jump up to here. Grab this moon. Spin jump at the end. When Mario's head, I'll show it in a minute. I also want to show, if you do it wrong, this is what'll happen. You'll fall that way. And if you fall like that, you can kind of save it if you're a god. But it's really hard. It takes a lot of practice to try and save it. And And I die a lot trying to save it. So I don't recommend it. But that's what it looks like if you mess it up. So, when you're running back, when Mario's head is like right there at the item box, we're just starting to fall. Mario's head is just passing the item box. You want to let go? I did too early. So head past the item box, let go. Spin, spin. Spin, jump to the left sides of these pipes to get through the piranhas. You can also, if you don't want to do the deboost strat, what I used to do is I'd grab this guy. Because sometimes that'll happen. So you can always grab the Buzzy Beetle. He works too. So I always wait until the raft is... So I line up with the pipe here. I wait for the raft to be below Mario. Like the first skull. I run left until the skulls disappear. I run right. And then you're set to get P-Speed and fly over here. So, let's see. I guess I'll start by showing this is how I get Yoshi. Typically. That's how I get Yoshi. The way that works is just kind of jump the second that you get to the top. When you're running up, jump, and then just go. Jump. You'll have to stall a bit to make sure you thread the blocks in the pipe, but as long as you get that jump right, it's pretty doable. Now, that's not the fastest way to do it, because you have to waste all that time running up the pipe. The fastest way is something like this. See, I can't even do it. I have to jump sooner. I hate this strat. I could never figure out how to do this consistently. But the idea is, instead of running up the pipe, you land here. The trouble is... Okay, there we go. Something like that. As you can see by my struggles, I've never been able to figure out how to do it consistently. So I gave up on it. But if you can get it, go for that. It's faster by a significant amount. But for now, I just do this. Now we have Yoshi. There's a bunch of different strats for how to get Yoshi through here quickly. Experiment and figure out what kind of visual cues work for you. I do something that's just super weird. I fly to the top right of the screen. I go left until Yoshi's like in this little yellowy, like not yellowy, whatever weird color that is. Till Yoshi's about to that thing, I drop. And then the skull raft is usually in the right place at that point. Drop. Fly again. Blarg makes a sound. I go right. And then we're through. Like I said, there's a bunch of different ways to do this. This is just the one that I use because it works for how I like to... It works for what kind of cues I'm good at paying attention to. After you get through here, I fall until there's that black spot right here in the background. I fall towards it, and then once the screen scrolls, I stop. That'll put me in position to get that coin. Fly over these guys. I eat him. I do 2 pumps to just 2 B jumps. If you spread them out correctly, you'll land right on the coin. So, like if you watch Yoshi's feet, you see how his feet switched back? Like he does that like stretch when you fly up, but then after he goes back to his neutral. If you time it so that eat, jump, jump, you're going to land on the coin. You'll be good. Last coin. You could try and swag P-jump if you want, but then the ending's right here. So, the whole level together looks like this, roughly. This is another very long level. So I think I got it. I didn't get it, so now I have to either take the raft or be a god. Fall. Deboosts. Whoops, I jumped too early. Wait for Blarg. And then you're done. I guess I can try and explain how to get P-speed if like both of those fail. It's really hard. And you only have like one opportunity. So if you fall, you can do spin. And like you jump off the right side of the jump off the right here and then run all the way to the left. But it's very difficult to do. Oh. So run, jump. And then you have to get back on the raft to go right. So you can build P-speed even with that small ledge in the raft, but it's tough to do. So I don't recommend it if you don't have to. Dome 4. Dome 4 is pretty easy, except for when it's the hardest trick in the game. So at the start here, just run right. You'll hit the coin automatically. Sometimes the bullet bill will just go over you, and you can just jump. This RNG is going to give me the same every time on the practice realm, I think. Yeah. Sometimes he he will go late. And if he goes... Oh, there you go. He did do it late. If he goes late, you're going to get hit. Whoops! So, to avoid that, just tap jump and then hold it. Hold B. You're still going to make it to this platform. I do tap, tap, tap to land on... To grab the coin and then land here. So, tap, hold. Tap, 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 jump, hold. So if you jump off of that, you're good all the way to here. I do tap, 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 and maybe hold, I guess. But you need to get in this pipe. This is where this level gets kind of crazy. I'm going to show you what the trick is. The not trick is to just take the Raft of Shame. But if you don't want to take the Raft of Shame, you can do something like this. Now that's really hard. To be clear. Tap, tap. So, okay, I fly to the top and then immediately fall. I tap to hit it again. I tap to land on the bricks there. Full jump, fall, jump. Just a normal tap jump. After that. If that happens, if you don't get underneath, if you don't get underneath, you can come back to here, stand about center, do a full jump, and then as you start to fall, immediately as you start to fall, go forward. Jump off Yoshi, and you'll make it. That's the backup. 9 times out of 10, I have to do the backup. Because making it underneath with P-Speed is really hard. So I come back, jump off Yoshi. That was a new one. If something like that happens, you can ditch Yoshi and fly back to the Raft of Shame. So if you miss like the jump to either of these platforms, just jump off Yoshi. You'll still have flight as long as you have enough P-Speed for it. And you'll just have to take the Ride of Shame, but it's better than dying. Man, I keep messing it up. I'm trying to get another one where I actually maintain P-Speed the whole way. So after that... It's so hard to describe while you're doing it because I'm like so focused. You tap to go. So, let me try that again. Tap. You'll do a full hold jump. You'll do a full hold jump to get underneath and over. Ah, God, the lava grabbed me. Go underneath and over, and then if that happens, try to land on the center bricks so that you can duck jump. Mario's too tall for him to get through without ducking most of the time. So jump. God dang it. Let's set up a different save state. So yeah, just do that. You're good. But ideally... Oops. Up and over. After you do that last jump, you can just hold. You can just hold jump the rest of the way. You don't have to like retap it. You can be brave and let go of jump to fall a bit faster, but you can just hold and then jump. I think I usually let go just to be a little bit quicker. Why am I doing that? But the main thing is you want to be underneath that last set of bricks before you jump off Yoshi. That way, when you do, you'll... Ah. You'll be able to cape. Cape immediately without having to, like, worry about going down and underneath anything. At that point, you just cape forward, and you're safe. Right there, I clipped into the wall. If you clip into the wall, just keep following the same path. Jump when you're underneath the bricks. You'll still make it. Probably. So that's probably the most complicated trick in the game. Or in the speedrun. So here, normally, you'll want to just like boop and go. And you're good to go. If, for whatever reason, you lost Cape and Dome 2 or Dome 3 or Ghost House, you can also kind of go to the left of him, grab him, and then when you walk past the gold tape, he'll turn into a feather. So now you have a backup cape. Boop and go. Last up is Slimmies Castle. At the start, tap Y. I'm gonna say tap Y twice. Yeah. So tap Y twice, hold it the second time. I like to jump right about at this fireball. And then get underneath that way. If you just hold directly forward, Kamek will spawn right in front of you. So the tap Y twice prevents Kamek from spawning in a mean way. So this trick looks way cooler than it needs to. Do a spin fly up here, let go of everything except A. Just let go. You'll hit the P switch. You don't have to time anything. You don't have to grab the P switch. You're just guaranteed to hit it. After you do that... Whoops. Maybe you do have to let go of it. Now I'm messing it up. Chat, I lied. Okay, there we go. Okay, make sure to jump soon. If you jump too late, that must be what was happening. If you jump too late, it may not work. But, like, 9 times out of 10, it'll work. After that, try to land on these, and then neutral jump into where the door is. And go in the door. If you want to be swagadocious, you can hold cape through here, but it doesn't save any time. This part's basically an auto-scroller. You have to wait for the parts to go up and down. You can kind of take this however you want. Just make sure not to get hit and don't die. When you get here, wait here, crouch, jump, get into that gap as soon as possible, because you need to jump to here. I'm going to show that stuff a little bit better. So everything up to this point, doesn't matter what you do. Here, just make sure you jump into that gap. Jump at the edge so that you can get to this platform. I like to jump, normal jump afterwards. Normal jump on the far right here to avoid that fireball. And then just hold forward so you ground pound and kill all the skeletons. And then once, right here, where the crusher's lined up with the wall, that's when I run right, typically. Jump to kill those two, run left, run right, duck underneath that if you can. And then it's our boy Lemmy. So Lemmy will sometimes show his feet beneath the pipes. Oh, he did it there for a second. Pause too late. There's no way I'm going to be able to catch him by pausing. But watch the bottom. The bottom will tell you where he goes next sometimes. It doesn't always do it. But if he does, that's more information for you, which is good. So yeah, that's a good example of squeaking in between there to save a little bit of time. So I didn't see any feet that time. Or that time. Sometimes he just doesn't do it for a while. Oh, he's coming here. So this should be in 60 FPS, I believe. I believe his feet are only out for 1 frame. So if you're not watching in 60 FPS, you may not see it at all. But it's there. It's just hard to see. Only happened for the short pipes? Maybe. That would explain why Wendy does it way more often. But that's World 3. It's a really, really hard world. That usually demands the most attention for practice.